All right, let's get started. Welcome, Michelle. Welcome, Matt, to ITMS Latin America Online 2021. Bienvenidos. Tenemos con nosotros a Michelle Kelly, que es la directora global de mercadeo para Bloomsbury Publishing, al igual que el director de ventas, Matt Buser, de Bloomsbury Publishing también, y ellos nos van a presentar los recursos. También tenemos a Glenn Rivera de ITMS, gerente de producto de Bloomsbury. Si tienen cualquier pregunta, pueden utilizar la opción de preguntas de Zoom o simplemente agregarlas al chat. Espero que disfruten de esta presentación. Está disponible para ustedes en portugués y en español. Muchísimas gracias. Michelle and Matt, the presentation's all yours.
Thank you. So hi, everyone. I'm Michelle Kelly, and alongside my colleague, Matt Buser, we're excited to be a part of this call today. So thank you for having us. We'd like to begin by telling you a bit about Bloomsbury Digital Resources, and then we'll highlight 3 products that will hopefully be of interest to you and your educational communities. So I want to begin by giving you some brief background information on Bloomsbury as a publisher. Bloomsbury was started in 1986 by Nigel Newton, who is still our CEO today. We are a leading independent publishing house, and we have offices in London, New York, New Delhi, Oxford, and Sydney. In 1998, Bloomsbury published Harry Potter, which a few of you may be familiar with. It had tremendous impact on our business, the publishing industry, and the world. The success of the publication of Harry Potter allowed Bloomsbury to grow and expand. And in 2008, Bloomsbury Academic was established. And the focus was on publishing works of excellence and originality in the humanities and social sciences. Always looking to innovate, in 2017, Bloomsbury Digital Resources was formed. And we're committed to enhancing the digital research experience with innovative, engaging, and dynamic digital resources, which are comprised of primary documents, critical texts, historical archives, or the latest in video and audio resources. So we've grown a great deal over the past 4 years of our existence. The division originally launched with these 4 digital resources, and this is our portfolio today. And we continue to grow. So as I mentioned, we'd like to focus on 3 resources today, and we'll start with Drama Online. So over to my colleague, Matt.
Hello, everybody. I will apologize in advance that I do not know where my cat has gone to, and he tends to make sneak attacks whenever I'm doing conference calls. So if you see a gray blur across the screen, apologies in advance. So the first product that we want to talk about today is Drama Online. Drama Online is our theater database, which is available via subscription or perpetual access. And it is a database that is completely modular, so you can pick which subject areas and modules are of most interest to you and build the collection how it works best for your library. And I'll get into that a little bit, telling you what some of the areas are that you can choose from as we go on. So just let me talk about Drama Online as a whole first. Drama Online is the home to more than 3,000 playtexts from more than 1,000 playwrights. We also have over 400 audio plays, more than 300 hours of video content, which is both performances and actor training. And we have more than 400 scholarly ebooks on the site. You can see the homepage here, and I can get into all of the tabs and the different ways to get into the content, but we thought that maybe the best way for you to see what it would look like for your library is to do it as if we are a student who is researching a particular topic and seeing the different types of results they would see. So what we're going to do is search for Hamlet and show you what that user journey would look like for a student. So the first thing you would do is type Hamlet into the search bar, and then the next page will give you what the search results would look like. On the right-hand side, you can see the results themselves, and clicking on any of those links will take you into the content. On the left-hand side, you see a number of different ways that the content can be filtered. And you can filter by date, author, content type, and more. What we're going to focus on today is filtering by content type so that I can show you the different types of content that are on the site for students. So the first thing a student might want to do is read Hamlet. Drama Online contains 4 different play texts for Hamlet. We have the Black Live Theater playtext from Aurora Metro Books. We also have the first and second quarto and first folio playtexts in what we call our core collection. All of our playtexts include toggles that show line numbers and notes as you read. Since we're talking about Hamlet and talking about Shakespeare, it's good to point out that there are actually 2 different types of notes for our Shakespeare content. There are commentary notes, which provide explanations of vocabulary, biblical references, interpretations, things like that. And for non-Shakespeare content, that would be where general notes fall for any of our playtexts. Specifically with Shakespeare, in our Arden Shakespeare editions, we also have textual notes. These notes will help a student to see what is different between the different versions of the playtexts. So it will show the rejected previous reading and what was changed, what spelling might have been changed, anything like that. That would all show up in the textual notes. It's worth mentioning that we do have other playtext modules as well. They aren't Hamlet, but we do have Oberon Books, Playwrights Canada Press, and Nick Hearn Books Modern Plays, which all have a large number of playtexts as well. The next thing a student might want to do is watch Hamlet. And Drama Online has 5 different video performances of Hamlet. The performances come from National Theatre, Globe on Screen, the Royal Shakespeare Company, the Stratford Shakespeare Festival, and we also have Maxine Peake's performance as Hamlet. All of our video content is supported by an interactive transcript player, and it all has video clipping functionality as well. And as I mentioned with the playtexts, there are 7 other video modules. Again, they don't have Hamlet, but there are 7 other video collections in our growing partnership library. The next thing a student may need is an image from a production. We have 33 images available from various Hamlet performances in our more than 1,400 images that are on the site. These images are from stage, screen, and also acting technique. Next is if a student is writing about Hamlet, they might want to consult some scholarly ebooks. As I mentioned, we have more than 400 contextual ebooks on the site, and just for Hamlet, there are more than 1,000 results. These results will take you to the specific section within that ebook that is referencing Hamlet. The collection of ebooks comes from the Methuen Drama and Arden Shakespeare, and it's all part of our Critical Studies and Performance Practice module, which also includes PATAZ, Physical Actor Training, and Online A to Z, which is made up of 60 different training videos for anybody who is learning acting technique. Next, if they are researching speeches, the student may just want to listen to Hamlet. And we have a performance of Hamlet from LA Theatre Works. If you're not familiar with LA Theatre Works, they're really interesting to listen to. They feature world-class actors, intricate sound design, and on-stage effects to really make it an immersive experience. Finally, we have some tools to assist a student who may be interested in reciting Hamlet. We have a couple of different charts. First is words and speeches. This has the parts from the play represented in a bar chart format. Hovering over the bar will show the word count for that particular character in that particular scene. And this interacts with the next grid that we'll talk about, which is the character grid. Like words and speeches, this shows the parts broken down by the actor and the scene. This time it has circles representing the size of their performance in that particular part of the play. If you click on an actor name in the character grid, what it will do is update the words and speeches chart to only show that character in the chart. And if you click on the circle instead, it'll take you into the playtext, and it grays out all of the other dialogue in the playtext so that you can really focus on that particular character's role. Finally, we have our monologue search. The monologue search, it sits with our searching functionality, and you can use it to find monologues with a certain word count. It has drop downs so that you can specify the gender of the speaker and enter the word count if you're told, hey, you need to find a monologue of a certain length somewhere in Shakespeare. I had to do this when I was in high school, so I know we flipped page until we found something very long. And I wish something like this would have existed. It would have saved a lot of time for us when we did this project. One thing to quickly mention that I skipped over, and that is the character grid and the words and speeches chart. They do show up within the playtext. So they're not a separate category that you can browse and search. They show up within each individual playtext. And so that is kind of a quick student journey through Drama Online. And I'm going to turn it over to Michelle to talk about Theology and Religion Online next.
Thanks, Matt. So Theology and Religion Online is the digital home to a growing range of resources that we've designed for students and scholars within the fields of theology, biblical studies, religious studies, and other fields related. It is currently comprised of 3 digital collections, and we have an additional 3 collections that will be added throughout this year. So on every homepage within our portfolio of resources, you will see a link for featured content. And this is a great way to get an introduction to the content. So this month's featured content on the platform focuses on Catholicism in history and society, and it includes great content from one of the collections, Library of Catholic Thought. So I really want to mention that this featured content will be available on our site for another 2 months. So please feel free to visit the resource to check it out, to get a better sense of what we have to offer here. So the featured content will show you excerpts from works within the resource. And this particular topic includes an excerpt from the 3rd edition of the Jerome Biblical Commentary. So it's a publication that was warmly endorsed by Pope Francis himself, and he actually wrote the foreword for us. It's digitally exclusive to Theology and Religion Online, and it provides up-to-date Catholic commentary on scripture with topical articles focusing on the Bible in the life of the church and offering diverse perspectives. So in keeping with the theme of discovering a student journey, we wanted to show you one on Theology and Religion Online. And we're going to stay on the topic of Pope Francis and use that as our search topic. So you can see the results of that search and all the different content types available on Theology and Religion Online on the left panel. So as you can see here, content types include articles, audio interviews and podcasts, ebooks, museum image collections, reference works, including the Jerome Biblical Commentary, a timeline that includes text and images, research and learning tools for students and teachers that include things like subject guides and bibliographic guides, and scripture, which includes a copy of the New American Bible for reference. So currently on Theology and Religion Online, we have the T&T Clark Theology Library, the T&T Clark Jesus Library, and the Library of Catholic Thought. But forthcoming to Theology and Religion Online is Bloomsbury Religion in North America, that makes its launch in June of 2021. And then we have the Anchor Yale Bible Dictionary and the Anchor Yale Bible Commentaries, both launching in October of 2021. So next, we just want to talk about Bloomsbury Collections. And Bloomsbury Collections is our ebook library and currently home to more than 14,000 titles in 24 different collections. New collections added this year include African Studies, Asian Studies, Gender and Sexuality, and Latin American Studies. We also thought we'd show you a bit of a sample search on the ebook library, and we'll keep with our theme of Pope Francis to take him along. So when searching by that topic, we get many different titles, For the purpose of this presentation, we'll focus on The Keys in the Kingdom, which is a title from our religious studies collection. So this is a sample book page, and it shows you the metadata available as well as the features of Bloomsbury Collections. So users will have the ability to favorite, to cite, to print, to email, and to share the content. Just a few of our personalization features. And then full features and benefits include no hosting fees for the institution, DRM-free access, as we said before, the ability to cite, share, and personalize the content. We also offer unlimited concurrent access for students. The ebook page numbers match the print for ease of citation. Mobile optimization. The ability to download and print chapter PDFs without restriction. And the ability to search a full text of titles. You can filter by date, series, or subject.
Now, something worth mentioning for Bloomsbury Collections is, unlike the previous two products that we talked about, these are only available for one-time purchase. There is no subscription model, but there are some different models available. So you can purchase them as an annual discipline module. So, for example, you could buy Religious Studies 2021 or 2020 or so on. You can also buy them title by title, where you can buy any of the titles individually to make your own collection. And the other thing that we have available specifically for this platform is evidence-based acquisitions, where you pay a deposit up front, you have access to a select amount of titles for the year, and at the end of the year, you can choose to retain access to the titles that saw the most use, or sometimes institutions will even just choose to pick titles that they are interested in, even if they didn't see the most use. We leave that entirely up to you, how you would like to build your collection after doing an EBA, but it is an option that's available for libraries.
So now we just want to conclude and offer our thanks for taking the time to be with us today. Our email addresses are here on the screen should you need to contact us, but of course, Glenn is available to answer any questions as well.
Thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Matt. Let's see if we have any questions.
Oh, Michelle and Matt, can you show the website, the Bloomsbury Digital Resources website, where we can find information about every resource, you know, Bloomsbury has?
Yes. So would you like me to share the screen to do so?
Yeah, Lee, I'm going to share the link.
Okay. Okay, I see Glenn did that as well. So I just entered the URL in the chat. And
Because right now, Bloomsbury has how many databases?
25.
25 different databases about, you know, humanities, social sciences, visual arts, performing arts.
If it would be helpful, we can also add a link to the full digital catalog that they can use to flip through.
Yeah, perfect. We do have a question. Are the platforms compatible with all search engines?
Yes, to my knowledge, yes.
Okay. They're asking about the significance of the Bloomsbury logo.
The logo,
Michelle, do you want to speak to that? Because I know you
Sure,
were very involved in the design.
So the significance of the logo, I could pull back up. There is an icon of the mythical figure Diana, the huntress. So I wish I could pull this back up, but that is the figure that's featured within our logo. So we're hunting down excellence in publishing, and that's the image that's depicted there.
Great. What else? We see here that it's in Portuguese. Are the collections available separately, like architecture, fashion? They can be purchased separately. They're not available as as a massive pack.
That is correct. Yes.
What else?
And with collections, we definitely will take into account how many a library is interested in purchasing. We can offer some additional bulk discounting if they're interested in a large number of titles or a large number of collections.
Thank you. ¿Tenemos más preguntas? ¿Alguna pregunta que le quieren hacer a Bloomsbury de cualquiera de los recursos que han presentado hoy o cualquier otra base de datos que representan? We have a comment here from Brazil that he wants all of the resources.
Perfect.
We're happy to help in any way.
We can't open trials for any of the resources that from Bloomsbury. Just email us and we can help you out. Please visit the Bloomsbury booth. So if you have any questions, you can share it with them in the chat room as well.
I just added a link to our catalog, and I'll add a link to our Spanish translation of our catalog as well.
Perfect.
Be great. There's one.
We do have a question here. Yes, from Stella Sandy. Are there plans to include other religions in the religion collection?
Yes, there are. That's a great question. So we launched this platform about a year ago. So these are the collections that we started with. But yes, there are plans to add collections that focus on Judaism, Hinduism, Buddhism, to really cover the full spectrum of religious studies.
Thank you. Checking here if we have any more questions. We have a comment here. Congrats, the platform is really pretty, visually stunning.
Thank you.
How does the platform manage authors' rights?
Is there a author rights?
How do you say that, Gabriel? Derecho de autor.
Copyright.
Oh, well, I hope this answers the question. I think the best we can say is that the digital sort of presentation of their work is factored into their contract.
Okay. We have a question about your content in regards to fashion. Could you go in a little bit more detail about what's offered in fashion? Because I do know that it's a very, very unique set of content.
Sure. So the fashion content exists on a hub called Bloomsbury Fashion Central. And then within that, we have the Berg Fashion Library, which covers the historical aspect of fashion. Then we have another database called Fashion Photography Archive. And that is a window into a very specific period in history. It was sort of a pre-digitization of runway shows and things like that, all through the perspective of one single photographer. And then in addition to those two, we have Fairchild Books Library, which is a textbook platform. Then we have a video platform called Bloomsbury Fashion Video Archive, and that is exactly what it sort of sounds like. It's videos of runway shows. And then that is the portfolio as it stands right now. Matt, you can jump in if I'm missing anything.
Did you say fashion business cases?
Fashion business cases, yes, thank you. So fashion business cases, obviously, just as it sounds, they're case studies that present sort of real world situations that students can study within the classroom. And they're written by people that are obviously in the field and embedded in the field. So the goal with Bloomsbury Fashion Central is to cover the entire spectrum of fashion education with business cases, video, photography, and obviously the history being really important with Berg Fashion Library. It covers it all.
And we also have Fairchild Books Library, which is the textbooks.
Exactly.
Is fashion more focused on trends or the history of fashion?
It's everything. So it's not really a trend forecasting database, but there's a lot of history in there. But as Matt mentioned, Bloomsbury Fashion Business Cases, it brings a bit of that real world experience to the fashion education. It would be current topics, if that helps.
Yeah, great. Let's see if we have any more comments. ¿Alguna otra pregunta, comentario que quieren hacer? Déjame ver aquí. I think we got through all of the questions.
So.
That's great. And I just added a link to the Spanish translation of our catalog.
Great. Where does the name Bloomsbury come from? They're asking.
It's a name chosen by our CEO and founder, Nigel Newton. It's kind of, it speaks to the neighborhood in London, in which our publishing house was formed.
That's interesting.
Does everything have marked records?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's all part, if a library chooses to subscribe or purchase, we send them a kind of a welcome email that includes mark records and links and anything that they need to set everything up for discoverability purposes.
Awesome. Let's see what else. Yeah, this you're asking about if it's available through search engines, and already Michelle said, you know, it is. It can be. It's integrated into search engines. Do we have any more questions? ¿Alguna otra pregunta o comentario?
Well, thank you very much to Michelle and to Matt. We appreciate your time. It was a great presentation. Gracias a todos por los que participaron. Como pueden ver, pueden consultar todos los links que se han compartido vía el chat. Y también, como siempre le he dicho, pueden consultar esta presentación después, al igual que la información en el virtual booth de Bloomsbury. Y si tienen cualquier otra pregunta, estamos aquí a la orden. Gracias. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle and Matt. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.